Hi everyone, welcome to Divine Sacred Tarot. I wanted to come online and do a quick reading. These cards have already come out, and what I haven't done is shuffle the Divine Feminine's messages, the Divine Feminine deck. So I wanted to have the messages run alongside the Divine Masculines. And obviously, the thumbnail can be quite triggering for some people. We've got the Divine Masculines have genuinely been feeling your pain. And as a result, the pain has actually come around to acknowledge your hurt, Divine Feminines. Those of you who are identifying as the Divine Feminine at this time, or their energies, the divine masculines have really wanted to delve a little bit deeper in terms of their own healing journey. And what I love about these cards is we've got the King of Cups, the Ace of Cups, the Four of Pentacles, and all of these cards are green. So this green dragon that keeps coming up in this reading, in these messages, I am obviously going to pull out the divine feminine cards, but what I'm seeing is the green dragons that are highly auspicious and recognized here is about this heart chakra energy. And the King of Cups, Ace of Cups really does solidify this message because the green dragons, I'm seeing that there is this transformation that is happening for the divine masculines in amongst, the 6-6 portal, the 7-7 portal coming up, the summer solstice, but for some in the southern continent, southern hemisphere, you are going to be experiencing the winter solstice. And what I'm seeing here is there is a shedding of the old fear that the divine masculines couldn't have what they truly wanted and desired. And the Four of Pentacles is talking about that stability, the security. They're holding onto their feelings about you so tightly. And the green dragons are representing that heart chakra of wanting to explain that these are abundant colors. Like if you think about money, it's usually green in America. It is a signal of abundance. And a lot of the divine masculines have gone without. The card that wanted to come out when I'm talking about the green dragon and the Four of Pentacles is the compassion card. Now, the divine masculines have never really given themselves room to be compassionate for themselves. You know how the divine feminines have needed to walk away from the twin flame journey because there wasn't enough self-worth with the divine masculines. So then they ended up sabotaging the connection. And so they feel quite overwhelmed by a lot of things. This overwhelm leads to destruction, it leads to anger and pain and a lot of other stress that the divine masculines don't want to deal with. So they end up running, they end up ghosting and doing things that have been actions out of desperation rather than aligned actions with intentions. And there is a massive difference in that because you yourself know, the actions that you're taking is for the highest and best good. But sometimes when you derail from that authenticity, things can go awry quite quickly. That's what the divine masculines are figuring out, that they know that this is an abundant connection. They're holding on to their feelings around you, but they've also been letting the media like fill their mind, constant barrage of information about what's wrong in the world. They end up becoming numb and unable to move around this energy. And so it's basically saying that the divine masculines have gone through this, but what is the point of this? That's the wordage that I'm getting. What is the point of this? Because even if I try and do a little bit, like it's nothing compared to how everything is exploding around them. And there is this compassion that the divine masculines do need to take, that one small action can make a vast difference. It's like when you go outside for a walk and you happen to smile at a stranger, that could mean something to that one person. If you compliment somebody, if you comment nice things on the internet, you'll be surprised at how many people read it, how many people resonate with it, and how much of a difference it actually makes to that person. You may not understand the consequence of it, but the intentional, loving, compassionate action that you've taken goes a very long way. And it's really about educating ourselves as a collective about those cultural differences, about making better conscious choices, being more sensitive about those choices and the impact it can have on others. And I feel like this is the divine masculines holding on to that level of compassion. So even though they're holding on to how they feel about you, divine feminines, they're holding on to their feelings quite tightly. And I'm also sensing that this is the divine masculines who really need to do something outside of themselves, like either volunteer, do some random act of kindness, just to kind of alleviate that suffering they may be feeling, that kind of like barrage energy of I'm doing everything wrong and I'm not doing enough. They're probably looking at you saying, well, she's such a giver. She's doing so much for the collective, even without you even being in communication regarding that. So everybody is learning here. Everybody is learning right now. Everybody is being asked to be kind to themselves because you're birthing this new world into being. And those actionable steps have to start with have to start with one step, have to start with one action. And that's the type of energy that I'm getting around this Four of Pentacles card. Even though the divine masculines want and desire a stable, secure connection, they are holding on to the feelings that they have around you quite tightly. And as I was mentioning earlier, this green dragon energy, it really does symbolize stepping into their power, right? Undergoing this huge transformation of healing. Like they're embracing love through strength and wisdom. And a couple of weeks ago, I did a reading where the divine masculines had the strength card. And it's so funny because the strength card really did come to this powerful pivot for the divine masculines to continue to be strong, right? And I wanted to talk about the Ace of Cups, but obviously talking about the green dragon energy, we've got the card number 29, which is Liaza, I want to say. Maybe I am not butchering this time around, but basically this synchronization of all the elements help you rise up to this glorious epiphany. This is what I was saying earlier. Yeah, the divine masculines do need to be a little bit more compassionate to themselves. They need to kind of have the ability to nurture their own loving kindness to themselves so they can be of use and of a higher vibration into the world. And it does start with self. They weren't able to learn that, but this green dragon energy really helps them tap into their heart chakra. So they are learning about strength and wisdom, and it's wanting to speak more about why this is relevant to nurture and protect this bond within themselves as well as the actual connection. And Liza actually has the card of revelation. So it's almost talking about like having doubt, having being able to have no doubt that you're on the right track. So there's been a tear in the energy because what you think and feel isn't aligned with what you think and feel. And what I mean by that is sometimes people say they have faith and they trust the unknown, but then they don't think and feel that way because there are things that have held them back. There are traumas and wounds that have ricocheted into their life and seeped through some of the emotions that they still carry in their body. So the revelation here is just to say that you must have no doubt, right? No doubt whatsoever that you're on the right track and you have this deeper understanding. So that soul radiates outwards. It's always the inwards radiating outwards. Nothing is outside of you. Anybody who's listening to this, it starts with the Holy Trinity within. And you are the divine creator. So this Chinese goddess is the mother of lightning. And I know some of you are going to hear that, and that's where the spark is going to come in. Some of you have been getting revelations through lightning, through fireworks, through flashes. Like, you're going to have to dismantle your old self and make space for who you want to become, because this time is so, so big. Sometimes life does throw you curveballs. And yes, it may have felt like you've been hit by lightning, but when we've been able to share and acknowledge that challenge, the task is to pivot, is to course correct. It's to not take your eyes off the goal, but realize there is another way to get there. And your way doesn't necessarily mean the right way. The divine way has the correct path. You just need to pivot. You're not meant to be predictable. You know, detours are a part of this journey. And so there is no loss, there is no good or bad. All there is the holy divine nature in you has to be opened up to this unconditional love. And that's what comes up with the Ace of Cups. We've got an overflowing of love. It's loving so unconditionally for yourself, towards yourself, for others, is you're really ready to offer your heart fully. And that's what I'm getting from the divine masculines, right? They have been holding on to their feelings quite tightly, but there is this new chapter of love that has wanting to come forward. That there has been this sense of hesitation because there is this dichotomy, there is this pull push energy, because they haven't really been honest about accepting unconditional love for themselves within themselves. They have been caught up in patterns of the past, and it's actually delayed their own healing, their own revelations around love, what it's supposed to be, the conditions, the boundaries, the all of those things I'm getting from the Ace of Cups. And obviously, the first card that we received for the Divine Masculine was the King of Cups. And the King of Cups always surprises me. I'm going to get some clarification from the Divine Feminine energy. So, okay, that was quick. Flow. And again, we've got this green energy. We've got 44 number. If you're seeing double digits, this is for you. 44. And then we've also got the radical acceptance, the green card of Freya. So what I'm seeing is radical acceptance and flow both go hand in hand, because when the divine masculines have been able to nurture what they feel, they're not sabotaging their own feelings by having this dichotomy, having this tear them in two directions, because you can be one way, but you can completely sabotage how you feel by thinking the complete opposite, or you're not even aware that you're being opposite in that thought process. And what I mean by that is the divine masculine has always had the King of Cups, the King of Pentacles, the King of Wands, the King of Swords within them, because when they embody all of those kings, they're able to get to the Emperor energy. From the Emperor energy, they're able to get to the Hierophant energy. So there is this level of awakening that they do need to acclimatize to. And sometimes, you know, they take one step forward, 5 steps back. They take 10 steps forward, 6 steps back. And there is this dance that's happening with the divine masculine, because the divine feminines know that they've already gone through this to enable that type of progress. They have to keep going back and forth and understand that that is part of the flow of radical acceptance of this world, of being a human in you know, embodying the soul in this current lifetime. The King of Cups is always within the divine masculines. They always wanted to embody an emotional maturity, a deeper love, a wisdom. They want love that is steady, profound, nurturing. They want to be in control of their emotions. They want to reassure the divine feminines that their feelings are genuine and unwavering. And, you know, they had to go through this death and rebirth. And somebody else had mentioned in one of the readings that, you know, we need to allow the divine masculines to go through their own process, but also go through their own death and rebirth, because we've been through that and we are not accepting the lower vibration of them, which means there has to be a separation, because the divine feminines are evolving and moving forward in their life lessons at a rapid rate, which means there has to be a separation in order for the divine masculines to energetically catch up and match that frequency. So that is what's going on right now. I'm just going to have one more shuffle of the Goddess Power Oracle deck. So thank you so much, everyone, for being here. I appreciate every single one of you. I'm just going to see if there's one more card. Okay, this came up earlier. And please do click the like button. Also, if you haven't already, it does mean a lot to me for you guys to engage in this channel. And hopefully it reaches people who haven't yet seen these messages and really need that sense of reassurance and confirmation with their own intuition. Spider Woman here is about this red energy. If you're seeing a lot of red around you, if you're wearing red, yes, red is this root chakra energy, but I'm also seeing like pink, green, red around the heart chakra. So this spider woman is about this co-creation. The divine masculines do know that they can create in this physical world. They're very apt in creating, having the ability to create in the 3D, but they also know that you, divine feminines, are the creator in the 5D. So if they do want progress, if they do want that success, they do need to balance their own higher divine feminine and masculines within them in order for this emotional maturity, the deeper love and the wisdom to balance within the both of you. I'm so appreciative of each and every one of you. Thank you so much for being here, listening, liking, commenting. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And I will speak with you soon. Bye for now.